And we are live, according to the indicators. Live streams over a long weekend. Such an excuse to be decadent. Gee, it's Easter. I'll do a bunch of. I found a whole page of Easter-themed cocktails to try tonight, and a lot of them seem very good. Megaleech, hello to you. First in the chat. I might. Let me see. Where's El Tubio Ubio Linky Dinky Doo? There it is. There it is. Copying that. Hey Luke, how you doing? And hey James, how are you? And the Facebook chat. Cruising along. It's funny when I was, because often for the live streams, I just found, why did I make my life more difficult there? I'm going to try one more thing. For the live streams, I look up, is this the National Day of something? And one of the things that's marked today is in America, National Louie Louie Day. It's the birthday of the guy who wrote Louie Louie, which there's been a million versions of over the years. I like that because that's a sort of drunken party song, Not saying I'm going to have a drunken party just because Mrs. Angry had to text me to tell me to stop making so much noise last night because all you people were making me rowdy. Hello, Lee. How are you? Yeah, Megaleech, I think you do get 1,000 angry points. Redeemable at all sorts of places. Wait, have I got is the autofocus started happening on this bloody thing again? I feel like I can see the thing shifting. Look at the controls and see, because the focus was acting weird last night as well. I had to adjust it. It's slightly drawn out process. I've got to click on 6 different things to get the settings. Camera control, focus, it's on auto. I don't want it on auto because that makes it zing out in and out. So it's not going to zing in and out anymore, and I think I'm in focus. So that's good. No, look, I did. Lee, you're jumping between Facebook and YouTube. YouTube's probably better for the chat because most people are in YouTube, and Facebook tends to be lagging like 30 seconds, whereas YouTube often only lags about 10 seconds. No, look, I did. There's probably at about 10:30. My phone ding. Speaking of which, I should have it on me. You never know. We might hear from Aidsy. Things are still a bit stressful for him. Like now, I must have been out of focus for so long. You can see my ring light reflected in my glasses now. Maybe I'll run out and get my phone. I'll decide in a bit. But so besides looking up that the day was Louie Louie Day, I was looking at the Difford's cocktail of the day, and apparently it's also the anniversary of Napoleon abdicating. So they had Napoleon-themed cocktails on there. Also, there's submarine-themed cocktails. It's something to do with submarines today. But then I saw they had Easter cocktails. You got a bunch of chocolate-themed cocktails. They're in a cream egg, vodka, liquor 43, white creme de cacao, advocat, and cream. I probably wouldn't go. I don't think I've got any cream actually. We wouldn't go the cream, and I'd use this bloody strawberry chocolate liqueur I have in place of that advocat. So I could do a version of that. Chocolate martini is almost boring. It's just vodka and vermouth like a normal martini and white creme de cacao. But I might try this one because I quite like a Sazerac. And this is a chocolate Sazerac, which unsurprisingly is just a Sazerac with white creme de cacao, chocolate-flavored liqueur. This is interesting. There's all these things about they like, do a spritz or rinse a glass with absinthe, and I normally ignore that and just put. This says put half a shot of absinthe, and top. You sort of fill your glass with ice, pour in half a shot of absinthe, and top up with water, and you leave it standing there while you mix everything else. And when that's all ready, then you pour out the contents of the glass, so it's just got like this hint of absinthe in there, and pour it. I don't do that. I really quite like to have some absinthe in my drink. Lee, you want a yellow submarine? We could. Megaleech. Oh yes, is power on tonight? It is. That was very weird to sort of have been gone for a couple of hours and it goes, oh, your battery's going to run out. Like, what? Oh, it's plugged in. But it wasn't switched on at the power point. So it's good. So, yes, I might make a chocolate Sazerac. This is what a Papa Ghirardelli. It's got Pisco, Campari, sweet vermouth, Benedictine, lemon juice, and soda water. I might make it without the soda and without the Campari. I'll put my other bit of aperitif in. What's it? A Toblerone, honey, vanilla vodka. I don't have amaretto, so probably won't. An excellent cognac, Advocat, yellow chartreuse, and chocolate bitters. I could make that. An Angel's Advocate, gin, Advocat, vanilla syrup. Oh wait, I actually have vanilla syrup, don't I? Is that what this is? The thing I said I was going to use. I've got a few things that I haven't used since I bought them. Oh look, vanilla syrup. All right. That would probably go quite well with thing. An Angel's Advocate is gin, Advocat, vanilla syrup, lemon juice, cardamom bitters. No, I don't necessarily have cardamom bitters, but I have a lot of other sorts of bitters, as we discovered last night. I suppose the yellow submarine is a thing everyone knows, even if you don't know it's the Beatles. I mean, I knew it as a kid. I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. I knew it as a kid because there was a version of it on Sesame Street. And as a kid, I didn't know it was anything but a Sesame Street song. And obviously, it was a Beatles song. I didn't actually know that as a kid, though. God, that makes me think there's a movie that came out late last year called Yesterday. The premise is guy's like a struggling singer-songwriter, and he's riding home on his bike one night, and all the power goes out everywhere in the world at the same time. And at that point, he gets hit by a car and face plants on the street and like knocks out a bunch of his teeth. He wakes up in hospital, and mysteriously things have changed in the world, possibly the biggest change being that the Beatles never existed. And he knows most of the Beatles songs off by heart. He knows all their big hits off by heart. And he starts playing them, and people think he's the greatest musical genius ever. It's a really fun premise for a movie. Like, how far can he take it? And is it the right thing to do, and all that? And it's a pretty fun movie. I'd be interested if anyone else had seen it. It's probably soon because it's just now like on the digital options, and I don't want to throw out spoilers. Spoilers wouldn't be huge. I mean, I'd go so far as to say, for me, the movie got about 75% of the way there, like 75% of the way to being a really good movie, which is better than a lot of movies do. But it's also, I guess there were a couple bits of it that really missed the mark for me. And that stopped me from really enjoying it. And I suspect that's why the movie wasn't. Sorry, I've been feeling this yawn going on for ages. I feel like that's probably why the movie wasn't a huge hit. Um, I finally understood what your comment meant. Lee enjoyed it, but too much Ed, because Ed Sheeran is actually in the movie as himself. Hey Gecko, how's it going? That wasn't one of the bits that bothered me. Actually, I was okay with that. Um, uh, but it is a good fun movie. It's a fun premise. Kind of doesn't quite get there, and I think that's got. If I start yawning, ugh, God, hopefully that's not going to continue. It's too early for me to be yawning all the time. Yes. Oh, Gecko, been listening to the Akira soundtrack. That's very dramatic. So long since I've seen Akira, I don't even really remember the soundtrack. Like, I'm old enough and nerd enough that I saw Akira in the cinemas, not on its first release. Like I saw it in an art house cinema in the 90s. Always wished I saw it on acid because it's obviously a trip film. 1988. I was just looking when it came out. Um, 1988. I think I saw it in the 90s, maybe the early 90s, in an art house cinema, probably the Valhalla in Sydney. I can't stop doing. Oh, that's terrible. Mm. Maybe I need to make a drink with caffeine in it. I don't know. I don't have any coffee liqueurs because I don't like coffee liqueurs. I drink Pepsi. Well, I've got some energy drinks too. That would be a huge fucking mistake for me to make a drink with an energy drink. Yeah, Megaleech, that's the other thing. Bands that were inspired by the Beatles were missing. That was the other thing. That was one of the jokes in it. Oasis didn't exist because they were obviously so heavily influenced by the Beatles. So they never had their primary influence. So Oasis didn't exist either. Gecko, you wouldn't watch Akira on acid. Too much of a downer. But it's just that animation is so trippy. Big Bad Ads, you reckon milk and alcohol is a lethal mix? Vodka Red Bull. That's a popular one. I don't have Red Bulls. I have fucking 500 ml monster cans. I don't want to drink a whole one of them, but if I open it, it'll go flat. I should make a drink though. What's the other one? Okay, I might try variant on this cream egg, chocolate Sazerac. I think I'll try this is going to be very Eastery. The Angel's Advocate, Cognac Advocate. Yeah, I might even try that one. Oh my God. I'll probably end up on a sugar high if I do all those. But their cocktail of the day, I was just going to look. A Bonaparte cocktail. On this day in 1814, Napoleon Bonaparte he abdicated and went into exile on the island of Elba. So they have two Napoleon cocktails. One's called a Bonaparte. Oh, God, yours are going to get annoying. A Bonaparte or a Napoleon market. Bonaparte. What's in a Bonaparte? Club soda, coffee, and that's fucked right off because we don't like coffee in Angry Town. This one, the Napoleon market. Gin, triple sec, Fernet Branca, Duponnay, or French Ruse aromatizer. I have a variant I can do on that. I would actually just use the Australian Rouge drinky that I have. Oh God, why did my brain just stop working? It's too tight. It's too tight for my brain to work. This is terrible. They're also saying Britain gave Singapore self-rule on this day, so of course they're suggesting a Singapore sling. which is drink immediately. So it's Tatler's birthday. The English publication The Tatler was first published. And it's also the time, apparently was Abraham Lincoln shot on this day? And it's, oh my God, it's the day, this is a big day. It's the anniversary of the day the Titanic sank and the day Abraham Lincoln was shot. God, do they have a bad taste? Oh, it's just called President. The anniversary of the Sydney hailstorm. Storm dumped 500,000 tons of hailstones on Sydney. Caused about $2 billion in damage. What's a president cocktail? Rum, orange juice. I don't really like orange juice in cocktails, actually. What do we have for... Oh, it's going to be a martini, isn't it? For James Bond, it'll just be a martini. Yeah, the Vespa. It's anniversary of Sidney Poitier winning an Oscar for Best Actor for a film called Lilies in the Field. So they're Lucky Lily Margarita, honey and tequila and pineapple and lime and a few dashes of black pepper. No, I don't like the sound of that. There's also a Charlie Chaplin's birthday. So there is, of course, unsurprisingly, a Charlie Chaplin cocktail, which is apricot brandy, sloe gin, lime juice. That sounds pretty boring, actually. Sorry, Charlie, your drink is boring. It's also the day the Rolling Stones released their first album. So, for some reason, they're saying a Livingston and that's a gin, vermouth, and sugar syrup. That's a martini with sugar syrup in it, which is a little bit weird, honestly. Or a Jumpin' Jack Flash, whiskey, banana liqueur, Galliano. I could substitute something. Orange juice. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of orange juice, and I don't have any orange juice anyway. Also, the day LSD was discovered, and it's also World Haemophilia Day. Here's a cocktail called Strawberry on Acid. Strawberries, vodka, strawberry liqueur, creme de fraiche, balsamic vinegar, and topped with champagne. No, not my type of cocktail. We'll just drop kick that one out of the way. Oh, Luke, Titanic themed drinks are always ice themed. Oh yeah, Dell. Yes, I saw in the socials you're a bit unwell. Want to make a color layered drink with pastel colors? I do have different colored liqueurs. I don't really have the appropriate. There's this special thing you can get that helps you layer drinks. You also have to know which one's the thickest. It's like a trial and error, or look it up. So I probably won't do that tonight. I do manage to keep down some mashed potato. Lee, you're in your French-Canadian ancestry leads you to cocktails. It is the French are popular. Sebastian, happy Lich Jeebus Day. Oh, right. Yeah, you're being a bit more arcane with your undead reference. I like it. I remember liches from my Dungeons and Dragons day. They like to have all different sorts of undead. Oh, that's a cheery thought, Luke. We know Adele's sickness isn't coronavirus. It's gastro. I think I got like a swine flu variant last year. I've talked about this before. I got some sort of stomach flu from someone at VidCon last year, and it was shooting out both ends. I talk about particularly really violent vomiting for about 12 hours. And that finally subsided. Like, I just thought I was going to die. And then, even though I stopped the vomiting for the next 12 hours, I felt so shit. I was just kind of wondering why I wasn't dead. And that weakened me so much. It took me about 3 days to completely, even though the symptoms were gone after 24 hours, it weakened me so much. It took me about 3 days to recover. So, and then I, unfortunately gave it to Mrs. Angry as well. Manifested slightly differently in her. She didn't throw up as much as me. She had a much higher fever for a longer time. But again, it was 24 hours and sort of burned through your system. So it was very unpleasant, but at least it didn't last long. Megaleech, does temperature affect alcohol density? I believe it does, or at least it can. It affects its volatility. Definitely, alcohol's more likely to burn if you warm it up first. Yes, Stella, I too have had that as a weight loss plan that I do not recommend. The weight loss plans I've had that I do not recommend are extreme illness, uh, um, extreme stress. Like, I was so stressed in because of one job once. I think over a 3-week period, I probably ate 3 full meals. I was getting some other calories. Like, I convinced myself to drink. Where I was working, there was a McDonald's down on the corner. I'd convinced myself to drink a McDonald's thick shake for breakfast each day. I just thought the sugar content will keep me going. But yes, I think over a 3-week period, I had about 3 full meals. I lost a bit of weight in that. And the other one is extreme poverty, like where you literally can't afford to get food to eat. And I had a period where, it was for 2-3 weeks, I had no money. Occasionally, someone else would buy me some food, and yes, I honestly don't recommend any of those. They all delivered a result. I don't recommend any of them. True, Adele. Thick shakes would not be good for a lactose-sensitive stomach, particularly if you had gastro. Oh, Adele, you smelled cherry Baileys from being sick. That could have very bad psychological attachment now. Theoretically, you'd heat a denser alcohol up, float it, would normally sink through a temperature, equalize top one, drip through the other. I think they would just blend, Megalich. It's a very, very interesting scientific question that you pose. But I think what would happen is they would blend. Although we'd probably have to conduct the experiment to be sure. There's a cocktail bar in Brisbane that I used to occasionally see Facebook ads for, and they specialize, the science of drink mixing. Like, they mix stuff with different viscosities, so you get these really wild-looking cocktails. I have no idea how they taste, but they certainly visually are something very, very different. Forget what it's called now, but I used to see ads for it on Facebook semi-regularly. Probably not now. They're not advertising anymore because, of course, bars can't be open. And aviation for when the thing. All right, I'm going to get rid of that. I don't want that. Do I want to start with an Easter-themed cocktail, or start with Napoleon-themed cocktail? That is the big question. And we're asking the big questions tonight. Well, you wonder if Max Headroom can get drunk. Maybe if he got a computer virus, he would act drunk. Maybe he'd be susceptible that way. I don't know. Once had gastro, had a glass of red wine, got all over your white zombie top. Oh no. Oh, Stella, that's evil. I love it. An Easter-themed cocktail, a rusty nail. Oh, that's evil, and I really like it. Adele, I think soda water with lemon in it actually sounds like a pretty good idea for you right now. Um, I points plus to you, Stella, for a rusty nail. It's yeah, I don't think I like rusty nails. That's a Scotch one, isn't it? Rusty nail. That's really weird. I searched the engine. Rusty nail cocktail. A rusty nail cocktail. How to make a rusty nail. Yes, Scotch and Drambuie. That barely counts as a cocktail. Scotch and Drambuie. Scotch and a Scotch liqueur. You honestly never had one, still. You just know it. Oh dear. Jack, I think it's fun that the United States is having problems with coronavirus. What the fuck are you going on about, you dribbling cockhead? It's just okay. Oh, proper absinthe, yeah. I'm not even sure. Some people say proper absinthe. It's got to have thujone, aka wormwood. I'm not 100% sure if my one. Oh, go play with yourself. Fucking hell, really? Where's my absinthe? I know I had a Czechoslovakian absinthe at one point that trumpeted how it had thujone. It was neat. It had like the herbs floating in the drink. It doesn't actually tell you what the ingredients are. Contains approximately 44 standard drinks. Yeehaw! So, oh, actually, I might as well leave that out because I want it for at least one of the drinks I'm going to make, a chocolate Sazerac. Okay, I'm actually going to start with a chocolate Sazerac now I've got that out. So what do I want? My Bourbon and white creme de cacao. I might make, this thing use Monin pure cane sugar syrup. I might make a vanilla chocolate Sazerac. Seeing I've got this out and I bought it. So, and it's okay, so I want to get my Bourbon, white creme de cacao, and my Peychaud's bitters. Let's go, kids. Okay. I want the Bourbon. Great big, starting to get down a little bit. Still a lot of bourbon in there. White creme de cacao around here. Now, I was putting all the bitters back. Where did I put? That looks like the Peychaud's bitters. All right, I think that's everything I need. Absinthe Bourbon. Yeah, 2 shots of bourbon, half shot of everything else. That's all good. That's all good. Look more like jackass. Ah, nice, Stella. Warm up some hot cross buns for dinner. Nice. I made mac and cheese today, and I had it this evening with some things I got from Costco. We call them Korean style spicy beef burgers. They're only mildly spicy, but they went well with mac and cheese. It's like burger meat and mac and cheese. Very fulfilling. Right, I need to get my cocktail shaker. I've already made one cocktail tonight for Mrs. Angry. I think they're saying this is actually just a stir. Maybe I don't need the shaker. I think they're saying this is a stirred cocktail. Let me see. Yeah, no, it's stirred. Okay, I'm going to stir it. I'm not going to throw. You made a crusty tuna surprise. That sounds like a sexually transmitted disease, Megaleech. Ooh, they'll fried rice tomorrow. Good if you're feeling better. Joanna, hello to you. We're all agreeing on things that are yummy. Yeah, I have to admit, I love pasta bakes. They're really easy to make. I made burritos the other day. Who knows? Who knows what we'll make tomorrow? Tomorrow is another day. A crusty tuna surprise is awesome, according to Megaleech. I'll take your word for it. I need my mixing glass because I want to look all cool. Ooh, and I'll chill a glass. Which glass will I put it in? This one. Oh, no, wait. It's a Sazerac. Okay. Go on Sazerac. We want this glass. Look like a cool dude. So, couple of blocks of ice. Get big blocks of ice. One for the mixing jar. One for the drinking glass. Right. Put this back. And I'm going to put this glass in the freezer while I get everything ready. Make it nice and chilled. Okay, so, wait, where's my jigger? Gotta get my jigger on. The surprise is cornflakes. I love, personally, Megaleech, I just love that comment out of context. The surprise is cornflakes. Joanna, it has turned into good soup weather, hasn't it? It was a really unexpected turn today. Right. 2 Auzzes of our friend bourbon. We got my mixing spoon as well. Half Auzzes of everything else. Half Oz, half a wizard. Half a wizard of absinthe. Actually probably going to be really strong because this is a really strong absinthe. I maybe should have used less than that. But it's happened now. It's happened now. There's no turning back. We've just got to keep moving forwards. Don't look back in anger. All right. And I'm going to put a little bit of the vanilla in here. My own little twist. Bit of vanilla syrup. Hear that nice crackly noise as I break the seal on the bottle. First time I've had it. And going to do a couple of dashes of Big Bad Ads. It was 30 Celsius where you are. Yeah, well, it went cold. It even hailed for a little bit. It rained quite a bit in Melbourne. Annette, hello. How are you? How much? 2 dashes of Peychaud's. I was just consulting the recipe. It's interesting. It's all blue because of the absinthe, but Peychaud's bitters is red. So I'm not sure what that's going to do color-wise. This might be an interesting colored drink. Okay, I gotta grab my mixing spoon. I forgot to get it. No, I don't see it because I took it out of the dishwasher today. There it is. All right. All righty. Now, you can see, look, in my mix, fuck me sideways. I almost dropped it. Oh, that would have been bad on a number of levels. See, my mixing glass is very blue-green and it's a dark on top. Don't know what color it's going to go. Okay, it's got a very dirty color. It's a bit of a dirty drink, this one. A dirty one. Okay, Megaleech's tuna surprise is mashed potato, layers of mashed potato, tuna, cheese sauce, parsley, topped with cornflakes, crushed and mixed with melted butter. Put in the oven until cornflakes are crusty. Nice. Ooh, Annette, you made a Singapore sling. That's a nice one. Yeah, I mean, it's nice. I should have put less absinthe in it because my absinthe is so strong. But I won't let that stop me. Luke, I would have been very upset if I broke my mixing glass. Would have been very, 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 very unhappy. Lucky I didn't. Also, I didn't want to waste the drink, but I would have been more upset about breaking my mixing glass. Oh, I get my drinking glass out of the freezer. Wasn't really in there very long, but it helps. Big chunko ice in it, because that's what sophisticators motherfuckers do. Oh, you put Tabasco in your cheese sauce, Megalich. You're all sorts of outrageous. Okay, so this is my first chocolate-themed cocktail of the night. A chocolate Sazerac for the Easter weekend. Yeah, I should have put... it's not that appealing a colour. I'll live with it because I think it's going to taste good. But I have to admit, I like the burn from the absinthe in this. Still could have done with a little bit less, but like it was only half a shot. It's like 2 shots of bourbon, half a shot of absinthe. I can't taste the bourbon. I can taste the absinthe. And so, the absinthe is beating up all the other ingredients in here. But I'm okay with that because I quite like that as a flavour. I like that, Miguelich. Now you're thinking about it for a crusty tuna surprise. If the cornflakes are actually crusty, the Tabasco must be the surprise. Ah, Stelly. God, it's going to be 37 in Kalgoorlie. Wowzers. Yeah, no, we're getting a couple of noticeably cooler days in Melbourne. And then there's a couple warmer days. But yeah, not into the 30s, sort of mid-20s by the middle of the week. But we're getting to, I mean, April. We tend to get a few good days, few good warm days all the way through April. Sometimes even into May, particularly with our changing climate. But we also start to get our first quite cold days, and I have to admit, whenever I like walk out to work on a cold April morning, I remember the opening line from Orwell's 1984 or something like, it was a cold, crisp April morning and the clock was just striking 13 of 1984. Yeah, it was a bright, cold day in April and the clocks were striking 13. That always pops into my head when it's a cold morning in April. Yes, now we do get our proper cold weather in May. Oh, you're growing garlic, Stella. Yeah, I imagine too hot would do it. Ah, Megalich is on the raspberry Pepsi Max with bitters. That's nice. That's a nice thing. Yeah, Luke, you do get the 4 season in Melbourne because there was some very bright sunshine today, and then some rain with a little bit of hail came in very suddenly. Then it was sunny again. Then there was a bit more rain. It was Melbourne stereotype day, actually. Yeah, no, that's nice. As I've said several times, probably would have been better if I'd used less absinthe, but I'm not complaining because I like the flavor of absinthe. But if I'd used instead of half, I mean, the recipe did say tip it out. You basically meant to coat the glass with absinthe and then tip it out. And I don't feel like wasting absinthe because it's expensive. So maybe should have just used quarter of a shot instead of half a shot. Some people also do the thing, they get a little atomizer, a little spritzer, and put absinthe in that. And when a drink like this calls for a hint of absinthe, they actually just spray it on the top, little zit, 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 and that way you get just a hint of absinthe. Suddenly, if you were sitting in an English garden waiting for sun, get a tan from standing in the rain. You're saying you have very pale skin, I believe is what you're saying. A cat Mimsy was hilarious. Like, it really started belting down rain, and she was sitting out in the garden, sort of under some overhanging ivy, and she didn't move. Like, this rain was belting down, and I think she was just, mildly annoyed by it. But she didn't move, and it's just pouring down with this rain, and then it stopped. And I actually don't think she got all that wet because of the overhanging ivy, and then the sun came out, and she was happy again. She loves sleeping in the sun. That's like her favorite thing, particularly if she can get on warm concrete or warm stone. So besides the sunlight, the surface she's on is radiating heat as well. She's just in heaven. She loves that. She also likes it in winter when we turn on the heating, because we have ducted heating vents in the floor. She'll just lie on one of the vents, just like hugging the vent, like this is the best thing ever. The Shadow likes doing that as well. They're big fans of the floor heating in winter. Understandable. It always makes me smile though, because they seriously seem to be hugging the air vent like this is the best thing ever. This air vent is my best friend. I'm just staying here for as long as possible. Cats, eh? What are they like? It's it's a funny old world. What else are we all doing? Hey, Strictly Seeger, how are you? Joanna, I'm not. Yeah, we could say our cats are smart. They know what they like. Basically, they like warmth and lounging around. My cats, in particular, Shadow likes to sleep on the bed when I'm not there. Mimsy likes to sleep on the bed when I am there. So they each have their preferences, really. What's this? Sorry, I'm just checking something. Okay, I do need to quickly do something. I'm just... Okay. Writing someone a note. God damn it. Okay. Okay. Leave that there for now. Okay, I'm less distracted. Who doesn't love cats? L3. So your Kalgoorlie-born cats hated it when you lived in Tisy. Oh yeah, if they grew up in a hot place like Kalgoorlie, the cold of Tassie would be a bit brutal for them. Oh, you're listening to Aphex Twin, old school, nice. I think Aphex Twin haven't released anything new in ages, have they? Remember being into Aphex Twin back in the 90s. I used to go to raves and whatnot. Yes, it's an interesting balance, David. You can say in Tasmania where you are now, great in summer, not so great in winter. Queensland sucks in summer and is great in winter. Yeah. It looks like Mega Leech is an Apex Twin fan as well. I like that idea. I hope you had a blast being steered on your office chair. My cats would not like that. If they were on an office chair and I started to move it, they would jump off straight away. They don't like that sort of thing. But yes, cats are weird. Cats are different. They will have their own little variants of their catness. Katniss Everdeen. Yes, I've read Hunger Games and watched the movie. Actually, movies were okay. These ones, the books were better, as is usually the case. But they were overall pretty good. There you go. Just ran. I'm jumping from subject to subject. Is anyone reading stuff with our sort of isolation? I have not been. I honestly haven't had that much more free time than normal. But a lot of people talk about reading or writing or creating or binge watching things. I haven't done a lot of binge watching. I have watched a few movies and a few TV shows. I haven't been reading. I probably should. I started watching, like I've been watching some relatively recent release movies. I was looking through the movies that were available, and the classic The Aviator with Leonardo DiCaprio playing Howard Hughes. Okay, I've always meant to watch that one. It's about 20 years old. And so I started watching, and it's quite good, and it's been going on for a while. And I thought, I might get up for a bit. How long's this movie got to go? And I checked, and it had over 90 minutes to go. What the fuck? How long have I been watching it? And I've been watching it for almost 90 minutes. So it's basically a 3-hour movie. And so, okay. So I've actually only watched the first half of it. But it is quite good. I watch it. Strictly saying, Howard Hughes, interesting. That is an understatement. Howard Hughes has a wild life. Like, you like the way they do OCD in that? Yeah. Well, Adele, well, Howard Hughes had a complete breakdown towards the end of his life. Like, he absolutely lost it. It's very unfortunate for him. It's like his mental health deteriorated so badly in the last years of his life. But yes, he always had this OCD thing going on. Yes, possibly influenced by, in the movie they're suggesting, influenced by the way his mother brought him up. But yes. So what do we see? Rambling Johnny, you're doing audiobooks. That's always good. Audiobooks are good. I have listened to a few podcasts that I like. Laura, some good news about COVID-19, social distancing. Shaken Stevens has been able to finish his old house. Nice. I like it. L3, you're doing Euro Truck Simulator. And Serpico is a good book. Good. That's an old one. That's like from the 60s or 70s, wasn't it, Serpico? Because Al Pacino made a movie of it in the 70s, which I have seen, but a long time ago. Lee, you've been listening to Talking Heads. Yes, that's always good. Rambling Johnny, Howard Hughes seriously lived in isolation in his end days. David Hill lived on Tinsuk. He lived on ice cream for a while, apparently. Like, he really, his mental health deteriorated really badly. Some of the stories are like, because he was just really rich. He was very rich, and he'd take to just living in hotels, and he was obsessed by cleanliness. But then he'd also not bathe for a long time. There were rumors like he'd rented out an entire floor of one hotel in Las Vegas. And there's a rumor he bought another hotel because its neon sign was flashing in his bedroom window and he didn't like it. And he bought the other hotel just so he could shut off the neon light. I don't know that was ever proven, but that was one of the stories that circulated. Yeah, Stella, I do. I always link Howard Hughes with The Simpsons, Mr. Burns parody of him, the keeping the jars of urine and all these nails, fingernails and toenails growing really long, and being obsessed with germs. Oh God, Mengun, you watched a Serbian film. I haven't watched it, but I know what it is. I am in no rush to watch that. That is apparently a very violent and very graphic film. There were a couple of weird films that came out around the time a Serbian film came out. Yeah, David, you get away with more if you're super rich, but yeah, I think Howard Hughes had a lifelong sort of OCD that made him a germphobe and affected his ability to interact with people to varying degrees. Like some days he'd be fine, and other days he basically couldn't interact with other people. Still, is it a human centipede type? I've also never watched the Human Centipede. Now, Serbian film is violent, violent and gruesome and disgusting. I don't think the Human Centipede is that gross. That's a good way to put it, Joanna. Serbian film is morally gross. Yeah, it's like a lot of. I actually thought they were pretty good. Put me off going on a backpacking holiday in Central Europe and Eastern Europe. I'll tell you that much for free. Okay, I think we're all agreeing a Serbian film is a horrible, violent film, and I happen to like, violent action films. But yeah, Serbian film is violent in a bad way. And Big Bad Ads, you might be right. It might not even be legal in Australia. Doesn't mean you can't get it. L3 Troll Hunter is the North. I think, yeah, they did an English dubbed version of Troll Hunter for video release in the US, I think. I'm not sure. Ooh, Joanna, Unorthodox is a series on Netflix. I am not familiar with that. What is Unorthodox about? Again, when I get to the phase of watching stuff, I have a lot to watch. I'll probably catch up with things. Megaleech, it used to be on YouTube. That's wild. Lee, what's the Wuhan 400 that COVID-19 reminds you of? Is that the disease that was in the Michael Crichton book? Yeah, I don't know. But the Wuhan 400 sounds like a race. Oh my God, David Hill, I watched I Spit on Your Grave. There was that whole bunch of revenge films in the early days of home video. A lot of stuff went straight to video. Sort of spin-offs, lower rent version of like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Gecko, there's a weird movie called The Dark Backwoods, directed by Adam Rifkin, starring Judd Nelson, Bill Paxton, Wayne Newton. That sounds super weird. Strictly Sega. I saw Upgrade. Upgrade is quite good. That's written and directed by Australian Lee Wannell, I believe. Yeah, I would recommend Upgrade. Upgrade is a very interesting, really well shot, well choreographed movie. Little bit thought provoking. It's quite good. Gecko, the Andromeda Strain. That's a really old Michael Crichton one, like from the 60s. I think that was like his first hit. Michael Crichton's first hit was the Andromeda Strain. Oh, that's a Dean Koontz one. I read a few Dean Koontz books, and I honestly agree with people who say he's like a bargain basement Stephen King. I think Dean Koontz has some really good story ideas, but he's not a very good writer. Whereas Stephen King maybe has more cliched story ideas, but he's a better writer. He's like a much better writer. There are a few stylistic things in Dean Koontz's writing that I just found really aggravating. He's just like not that good a writer. Gecko, I watched Ready Player One just in the last week. Actually, I finally got around to watching it. Watched a few movies in the last week or two. Ready Player One was one of them, and it was fine. Not great in my opinion. It's a kids movie in my opinion, which is not necessarily a slam, but I just found the movie was not very sophisticated. It's not going to me. Ready Player One's not going down in the annals of truly great films. Yeah, it's entertaining, and that's about it. Yes, Stella. Oh, Dan Brown. I've never read any Dan Brown, but Dan Brown seems like an idiot from the interviews I've read with him. I always think Beaconsfield is a TV movie. The Beaconsfield Miner thing. Oh, yes, had Lucky Human Shane Jacobson. I haven't actually seen that one. L3. I watched season 1 of The Punisher, which I thought was okay. Because there were a few attempts to make Punisher movies, and I think it was the last one that I got a good laugh out of. It was like the violentest Hollywood film I've ever seen, I think. This is the one with Thomas Jane as the Punisher. Actually, I was laughing a lot in it and getting into the very comic booky violence of the movie, thinking like, yep, this is probably the violentest Hollywood movie I've seen possibly ever. David, you hang out for Denis Villeneuve's version of Dune. I'd be interested to see what it's like. Definitely. Gecko, we're trying to remember what Andromeda Strain. I remember I saw a movie of the Andromeda Strain that was probably made in the 70s, which was quite okay. I think that was Michael Crichton's first hit, the Andromeda Strain. Stella, because you actually go underground in Mining Town. I want to see how well they capture it in the Beaconsfield film. Oh gosh, Stella, reading The Lord of the Rings, then following with the Da Vinci Code. Yeah, because I mean, you can pick on a lot of Tolkien's writing, but he's orders of magnitude better writer than Dan Brown. Just with world creating and everything. Dan Brown is a pretty fucking lazy hack. Joanna, you're going to read Damascus by Christos Sulkis. It's, to admit some guilt as an Australian literature fan, I've never actually read any Christos Sulkis. Very celebrated Greek Australian writer. I should read some of his stuff, but I haven't yet. Strictly Sega for a late upgrade. Check out Freaks, but not the old 1930s one. The 1930s one was a groundbreaking movie, definitely. So Strictly Sega is saying Freaks. What was the recent version of Freaks about? I'm thinking we're saying it's not a remake of the 1930s one, or is it a remake of the 1930s one? Oh god, now we're getting into our esoteric films. Tartakovsky's. I don't think I've seen any Tartakovsky films either. He did the original version of Solaris, didn't he? Is that a Tartakovsky film? I'm probably pronouncing that name wrong. But I know there was a Hollywood version of Solaris with George Clooney, which was okay. Most people say it's no chop on the original, though, because it's a real sort of mess with your head movie. Okay, you're saying it's better if I go in blind, but it's a good film. Okay, I'll see if I can find the recent version of Freaks. I'm not aware of it. I'm going to tell you what. Again, absolute. I didn't mind the George Clooney one, strictly Sega. I want to see what looks like a trashy, fun film. Is the one with the crocodiles and the flooding. It was like late last year it came out. It's on digital now. I was going to say it's not called Slither, but it's called something like that. God, now my brain's gone blank. The name of it's something like Slither. But totally. But it's like said in Florida or something, and there's a tropical cyclone and a flood, and these people are trapped in their collapsing house, and alligators get into their house. Crawl, I think it's called Crawl. But yeah, anyway, that looks fun and trashy. I'm going to watch that at some point. Oh, Gecko, you're a good recent esoteric film, Immortal Ad Vitam. I'm not familiar with that one. But this is where we recommend media to one another. Lee had to watch Gattaca. My memory of Gattaca is it shit me because the whole thing, the protagonist, he wanted to be in their space program even though he had a congenital heart disease that ruled him out. And I was like, dude, get fucked, white boy, thinking you deserve everything. Maybe there's some things you don't fucking deserve, honestly. I have seen Hardcore Henry. Yes, that point of view action movie. It has that South African guy, doesn't it? The guy who was in District 13 and but yes, no, I have seen Hardcore Henry. Point of view action film. It's very interesting. Gecko, Videodrome. That's a classic Cronenberg film. Look, honestly, as much as I'm against remakes, Videodrome deserves to be remade about modern technology, because you could update the world of Videodrome with modern technology, and I think it would be great. It's a classic Cronenberg film, really, really weird and fucked up and just physically gross stuff with bodies, which Cronenberg loves. But I reckon Videodrome could really benefit from a good remake. Hey, Justin, how's it going? Yeah, Gecko, I know the whole thing in Gattaca was about the genetically perfected people, blah, blah, blah. It was like the guy had a fucking heart defect. And I was like, this is really annoying. District 9. I said District 13. I think I said District 13. No, it's District 9, which I fucking love. I saw that again recently, and the effects still really hold up. The aliens just look so real in that. I love that. What does Stella say that Adele agrees with? You need something engrossing to watch. Okay, we'll go through my favorite movies of last year, and you can get them to watch at home now. Probably my favorite film from last year, like from major releases, was Knives Out. It was like a murder mystery movie, and it was fucking great. I really recommend Knives Out. It's possibly my favorite movie from last year. Just for an old school murder mystery with really great characters. That's it, Leah. I didn't fuck a prawn. Okay, so Strictly Sega is recommending Freaks and Upgrade. I recommend Knives Out. Talking about destroying computers by shooting the monitor. Oh God, that's out of left field. L3, Old Boy. I feel like I need to rewatch Old Boy. because I have watched it not that long ago. Like I didn't watch it when it originally came out. I've only watched it probably only a couple of years ago, and I wasn't as grabbed by it. Like people really talk up Old Boy. Like the hallway fight scene with the hammer was pretty intense, and the overall story of Old Boy is certainly fucked up. But yeah, maybe I need to rewatch Old Boy to see if I get more into it this time. I don't know. Justin, you're doing online grocery shopping. I have. When do I ask you get it delivered for? Oh, that's okay. And they're giving you more than you asked for. You asked for 1 pack of mints, they give you. That's okay. That's okay. Oh, Gecko, you have a list of movies. See, this is what we should do. Oh, yeah, Strictly Sega. I loved Get Out. And the follow-up by the same guy, Us, is good. I wasn't completely with it on the resolution because it's going one way and it's a good, weird, creepy horror film. And then it seems to jag off on a direction that had nothing to do with everything that happened for the rest of the movie. And they kind of explained it and justified it. And I was like, yeah, I'm not really sold on that. So I really wasn't sold on Us, but Get Out was great. Momo's dead funny and Get Shorty. Lee, I love the movie Get Shorty. That is a great film. I think it's based on an Elmore Leonard novel. One of John Travolta's good films. It's very good. Oh, L3, going old school with Fritz the Cat. I'm pretty sure I saw Fritz the Cat years ago on VHS, like in the 80s. It's a 70s animation, I think, either late 60s or 70s. And I think I saw it in the 80s. Yes, very, very, very sort of weird, hippie, druggy animation with sex. Should say you laugh your ass off at the hunt. It's terrible. Oh, dear. Justin, I heard The Simpsons on Disney Plus. They fucked it up by insisting on recutting it so it's widescreen. So it actually is cutting out the top and the bottom of the original thing, and which means you miss a lot of the visual jokes. I'm not a fan of that. No. Get Shorty was about the film industry. Travolta's basically a mafia hitman, and he decides he wants to make movies in Hollywood. There's a sequel called, which was about the music industry, Stay Cool. The sequel was called Stay Cool, which is not bad, but nowhere near as good as Get Shorty. Get Shorty is absolutely great. Here we go. Shalto Copley was born in Johannesburg, South Africa. Stocks Bruce Copley, former university. There you go. Okay, David, that's another one that I think could be remade. Fritz Lang's Metropolis, because I also think it's more relevant now, you know, with creating an artificial woman. But speaking of which, been watching the new season of Westworld, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Few good mindfuck things going on in Westworld, as per usual. Oh, yeah. I saw that. Strictly Sega, the hunt is apparently, you know, rich liberal elites who hunt rednecks. That looks, yeah, funny and stupid, as you say. All right. Look, I'm being really responsible. That was only one cocktail in the first hour. Justin, Disney owns everything. They're a giant evil conflict. Stella, Westworld is on Foxtel in Australia. It's an HBO series. I think the only way to watch it legally in Australia is Foxtel. It is very good. And basically, because the original Westworld is just, ooh, robots in the theme park go crazy and kill people. So in the first season, that's what you're expecting to happen the whole time. and they really take it in a different direction. Like basically what Westworld is about is what does it mean to be human? When is a life valuable and when is it not valuable? And what is free will? Do we have free will? And just the crossing over. So particularly in season 1 of Westworld, you don't know who's a robot. They call them hosts in the theme park. You don't know who's a robot and who's a human. And it really messes with your perception of characters. And it's because they're trying to say, like, you know, because some people go, oh, I should only care about a human character. I shouldn't care about one of the robots. But that's one of the things that they're trying to get across, because the robots are an underclass. And it's like, why shouldn't you care about the underclass? Why is the underclass worth less than the ruling class? So it's actually very clever and really plays with the audience. Like I said, the key things tend, the 70s Westworld movie was a cowboy theme park. And there were a couple of other worlds they showed. There was a medieval world, and they might have showed something else as well in the Westworld movie. And yes, Westworld season 1 particularly centers on the Westworld theme park. You eventually find out there are a few different worlds in these theme parks. There's like, the Raj in British India. There's a sort of samurai world. I think there might be a Roman world as well. A few other things. But there is the thing with, are the robots going to rise up and throw off their shackles and stuff? But the bigger things in the Westworld TV series, like I said, it's all about what does it mean to be human? When is a life worth something? And what is free will? And do any of us really have free will? Are the programmed robots any less autonomous than we humans are? So it really goes into some interesting areas. Justin, have I watched the US comedy without the usual audience? Oh, I've seen, particularly on YouTube, someone edited Big Bang Theory, which I have a whole range of objections to that show, but they edited Big Bang Theory to take out the laugh track, and it's just horrific. Like, it's so bleak, and the pauses for laugh track is just like they're staring at each other without meaning, and it's just not a funny show. It is not a funny show, and it's so much of its humor basically relies on fucking rape and sexual abuse. It's just, my God. It is very, very bad. Okay, I'm going to make another cocktail. Will I make another Easter one? Cream egg, vanilla vodka, liquor 43, creme de cacao, apricot. Yeah, I'm going to make that. That sounds decadent AF. Stella, you make Big Bang Theory not just because you're a geologist. Yeah, no, it's a terrible show. It's absolutely terrible. Oh God, yeah, you don't like being called Sheldon Asperger's. Yeah, that show is not favorable in its presentation of Asperger's. It is just the ridiculous stereotype. David, there's one of the things that gets revealed in Westworld, not so much that, but it is something they are trying to develop, how to have the rich people live forever in one of these artificial bodies. But yeah, it's one of the bigger reveals is the real purpose of the theme park is not so much to make money from rich people who go to the theme park, but to actually analyze all the behavior of the guests at the park. So they end up having a really comprehensive algorithm for predicting specific people's behavior. Yeah, it's very weird. Justin, you talk about talk comedy shows. John Oliver. I've been watching John Oliver's show in the new weird world of no audience. I haven't really. I never watched the Stephen Colbert. I fucking hate Bill Maher. I really don't watch Bill Maher. He's a fucking piece of shit. I have been watching. It's been fascinating watching John Oliver with no set or effects and no audience. It's like basically doing it from home like this. It's really quite fascinating. But yes, all those comedy talk shows having to adapt to not being able to work in a studio with a crew and an audience is very interesting. David, I haven't watched season 2 of Altered Carbon yet. I did watch season 1, which I thought had some good stuff on it. I haven't watched season 2 yet. Gecko, you parked at the biggest gas station. You want to see? Okay, you're going to show me. I'm going to... must be time to invite people into the chat, actually. Anyone who wants to join. Just putting the link in there. And yes, Gecko, if you want to show me the big gas station you parked at. I haven't watched any of the Daily Show. Distancing. Okay, Gecko's going to show us. Hey, man, how's it going?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good. So I'm in the car. Obviously, it's dark.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna flip the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, share. Okay. Good.
Okay. Yep. That is a big gas station. Jesus, how many pumps are there? Holy God! It goes on forever. It goes on forever. What is that? That's like 50 bloody gas pumps there. That is wild. Dude, thank you for sharing. That is something. That is really something.
Yep, it's called Buc-ee's, and the inside of the store it's basically like a small grocery store as well.
Yeah. Cool.
I mean, I would take the phone in there and show you the bathrooms because they're pretty fancy too, but I'm not going to do that.
No, that could cause a scene. Dude,
I'd rather explain it.
Yeah. Oh wow, that was really wild. That was absolutely the hugest petrol station I've ever seen. It's like 50 different gas pumps there. That is wild.
Oh yeah, and the whole length of all those gas pumps, they have a car wash on the other side of the building that's just as long as the property.
So are you like on a major road or something there, or?
It's Interstate 10 in
the
city of Katy. So it goes all the way across from California to the East Coast. I don't remember.
So okay, and it's asking where are you? So where is it? Las Vegas or?
No, near Houston.
Near Houston, okay. You're near Houston. Oh, so you're actually working at the moment, are you? Doing your Lyft driving?
Well, I'm taking a break. I'm going to go in here and buy some beef jerky.
Nice.
And I thought I'd show you the place while I was sitting here.
Yeah, that's really cool. Thanks for showing us that.
I'm glad I could. But yeah, I'm going to go off here.
You're going to get some jerky.
Yeah.
All right, man. All right, we'll stay in touch. Enjoy the rest of your shift in your beef jerky or whatever.
Okay.
Okay. Excellent, man. Thank you. Catch you later. All right, and now Lee, what's going? What do you got? What's
Oh
you got a
my,
Stephen Hawking book?
yeah, that's what I've been reading. Brief History of Time.
I cheated and watched the movie. I haven't read the book, but I did watch.
I've never watched the movie.
No, it's pretty
I don't
because
tend to.
a doco with Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, I know. I'm just one that found the Harry Potter kind of got a bit screwed up when they made a movie about it.
They
It's so different.
the one bit I remember, I mean, besides all the really interesting science and stuff, I remember Stephen Hawking saying is at one point, like he's got a bunch of grad students doing grunt work for him, and he's got one of them go off and like do these observations, these calculations, and the student went okay and came back with results, and he just looked at him and said, "You did it wrong. That's the wrong answer. Go back and do it again." And the student went, "Oh God, sorry." Went off, did it again, came back with exactly the same answer. Said, "When I run that equation, this is what I get." And Stephen Hawking's going, "Oh my God, do I have to do everything?" And stepped him through it. And the student goes, "Duh, duh, duh," and the student was right, and Stephen Hawking was wrong. Stephen Hawking had actually done the equation wrong, but assumed he was right. And this student, who didn't have the benefit of knowing Stephen Hawking's answer, did the equation and came up with a different answer, which was actually right. And as Stephen Hawking's like, that was a real pause for a moment, because I had been assuming I was right about everything, and I just made a fundamental mistake there. And
it's a good example of being intelligent but wrong at times.
Yeah.
I experience that from time to time.
Being able to recognize when you're wrong is not always easy.
This is true.
Yeah.
Just like I keep telling people that IQ doesn't equal intelligence.
IQ doesn't equal anything apart from the number you got on an IQ test. Anyone who anyone who places a lot of weight on IQ tests probably believes in phrenology as well.
Yeah, people are like, "Oh, your IQ's like that much. Oh, wow, you must be really smart." I'm so like, "Oh, I'm just like everybody else, I think." But they're like, "Oh, but you got autism," and I'm like, "Hey, buddy, you don't push it."
Yeah, if you do an IQ test properly, what it shows is, because it will be geared to a particular education system, and if it's geared to your education system, it will be showing you where you are at that point relative to other people who are doing the same education system. If you went through a different education system, you're likely to get a score that is borderline meaningless. It might either be too high or too low. Doesn't reflect.
Yeah.
Wait, Gecko's showing us something. What are you showing? Oh, Gecko's got some beef jerky.
Yeah, I can't really hear
yummy.
what's going on because the audio playback's coming through the phone speaker. Okay. So, like, I can't hear what you're saying, but I'm going to be walking around here a little bit. Here's all their beef jerky.
That is a lot of... That's like as much beef jerky as there are petrol pumps. That's like, wow.
Ooh.
I'm going to be making a cocktail while we're getting invited. I love American convenience stores. They have such crazy shit in them.
Me too.
Yeah. When I was in America...
This is a gas station.
Yeah. Oh, well, to me, it's a convenience store. When I was in America, we were traveling around. I made a point of going into the petrol stations, the convenience stores, and getting one weird thing from each of them, like a weird flavor of chips or weird confectionery or a weird drink, and going, "Oh, what the fuck is this? I've got to try this." Because they just have such weird shit in them. Is that actually fresh stuff there? There's a bit of everything in there.
Reminds me of Costco a bit.
It's big like Costco, but
Morning.
It's like a 7-Eleven on amphetamines. It's like it's the world's biggest 7-Eleven. I'm getting 43. God, this is going to be just so over the top sugar, this thing. Okay. What are the other ingredients I'm meant to get on this? Vodka, liquor 43, white cream to cacao. Yep, okay. Cool. I know what I'm doing. And there's an actual car inside the petrol store, convenience store. Okay. It's so big. I mean, that's what she said and all that. But, my God, it's got it's a petrol station. And it's got everything. All right.
Hello.
All right, he's getting served now. He's being polite, not showing the server. That's good. I don't know what my cream cacao. No, that's mezcal. Oh, okay, so this is going to be a really decadent drink I'm making now. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
What's Catherine saying about to finish Harry? Oh, you're doing Harry Potter stuff. Nice. Okay. Oh, I've got a friend who's making me a Doctor Who scarf for winter.
I'm walking around back so you can see the car wash.
Oh, he's going to show. And even is there like ice dispensers there? Everything's bigger in America, and it's in Houston, so everything's bigger in Texas. That's what you say.
Yeah, just like the trolleys and motorized in Costco in America.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, it's way on the other end of the property. I forgot.
Got to go on a safari. Here we go. That's right. He can't hear us, but that's okay.
Oh no! See, the sun is gradually improving the light.
And so he's working. Oh yes, see the sky lightening a bit. Working through to sunrise. That's a bit brutal. How much? Was it? Half a shot. Half a shot of all these things. Okay. Half a shot of liquor 43. I'm just. Isn't the internet wild? We're just randomly someone's walking around with a phone showing us Houston. It's just like, oh, that's not what I thought it was. I got to get a different. What still?
Oh, well, at least it's not here today, gone tomorrow. And it looks like it's got everything we need.
There does seem to be everything there. Oh, it's still here. That's why I can't find it. It's still here.
I saw the Bluebell ice cream truck. There was a big deal about that a few years ago, or maybe 2 years ago. They had some problems with alcohol, and they had to shut the whole plant down. And everybody lost their minds when the first truck started rolling back out.
They got their ice cream back. Okay, is this the car wash we're at now? It's just
the exit end of the car wash.
Oh, it's one of the ones where you drive through, right? Right. Oh my God. Look at that. So, I'm getting Breaking Bad flashbacks from their car wash business they had. Did I? No, I haven't put this in yet. Okay. I want my strawberry chocolate liqueur. It's very Easter eggy when I put this in. All right. Be interesting to see what color this comes out. How pink it is. Ugh. What are you doing? My God, it's just like.
That's where you go pay for it, and then you come vacuum at your car.
Jesus.
At one of these places.
This is just huge. It's bizarre how huge that is. Oh wait, Justin's going to join us as well.
Oh, awesome.
Justin, how are you doing, man?
Hi, how are you?
Good. just fascinating. Gecko's just giving his guided tour.
They got this whole section over here.
Yeah.
This section of pumps provides gas that has no ethanol in it.
Okay.
California, isn't it?
I guess
I
some
think
people
it's in
care
Houston.
about that.
Yeah.
Yes. It's just astonishing. It's absolutely mind-bogglingly huge. No, probably enough shaking noise disrupting everything. But did you get? It's like Gecko's getting his exercise for the day, just walking around the ground with this stuff. It's freaking huge.
Oh,
It's absolutely amazing. It's what?
sure is.
So every one of these gas pumps has a camera above it. So if you go inside and pay with cash, they'll show it to you on their screen, and so you can make sure that you're paying for the gas at your car, not someone else's car.
Yeah.
That's something I would do. Sounds like something I would accidentally do. Pay for somebody else's gas.
It'd be so easy to forget what number you were on. There's so many of them. Can you imagine trying the technology required to manage that? Just to keep track of all the petrol pumps? Well, there we go. What's this? Minimum wage. Are they hiring?
They also pay pretty good here.
No, they're hiring. There you go. You want minimum wage. So how's this for a really masculine drink? I don't think you can see how pink it is. This is actually fairly pink. What I'm drinking. It's a pink cream egg. It's a version of a Cadbury cream egg. I don't know.
Still reminds me of Strawberry Fields Forever for some reason.
That would be a good name for it, a Strawberry Fields Forever. Strawberry Fields of Chocolate.
In case you haven't figured it out, the mascot is a beaver.
Of course it is.
Ooh. Oh, no. Oh, Cali. California.
I don't make me saying all the wasted space. There's a lot of empty concrete in that. There was a huge sprawling thing. Everyone's saying it's like as big as the town they live in.
So is that like a chain? Like are there other stations like that? Or
Yeah.
is it like the one.
I don't know. Can you hear us yet, Gecko? No, I don't think he can hear us yet. Because he was just showing us, but he couldn't actually hear. Yeah, that sort of strikes me as it might be a chain, but maybe it's an independent one. It's friggin' huge, whatever it was. But yeah, so I don't know. Cheers to that is all I'm saying. My strawberry chocolate cocktail.
Cute cat.
Yeah, Yuki is her name.
Oh, nice. So, can you hear us now, Gecko?
I can hear you fine now that I'm back on the car audio.
Cool. Justin had a question. Is that a chain of gas stations, or is that just an independent one?
No, it is actually a chain of stations. There are, I don't know how many of them there are, but there are a lot of them.
Right.
But they're not all this big. This is one of the bigger ones.
Yeah. I'm glad you shared it, because that was
And yeah, you had the whole like food section on one end, and then in the middle you had the soda fountains, like 1 million soda fountains, and people king like a full blown kitchen and everything. And then on the other end you had the gift.
a little bit of everything in there.
Yeah, they've got all kinds of different things here. A lot of country style stuff. Your barbecues and whatever.
Strictly Sager's gone for fun.
So I got my Hill Country brand. Hill Country refers to Austin, Texas. Teriyaki beef jerky. And this is the small stuff. They got in their food display, I was tempted to get, because they had large,
Yeah.
large chunks of the teriyaki beef jerky and all the other flavors.
And that was a whole wall of there.
Oh yeah. Flavor corn and turkey and all kinds of stuff. Their drink, their refrigerated, all that. This weird thing is where at a store like this, or grocery store, or small supermarkets, or you can't buy anything strong in wine. You got beer and wine. So if you want to get liquor, you have to go to an actual liquor store.
Right.
Right. And it'll be like the biggest ones will be probably around half the size of this place. And you can find all that wine, beer, whiskey, rum, all the stuff.
I'd probably go nuts in an American liquor store.
It depends on what state you're in too, because in California, where I grew up, you could go to any gas station and
Yeah. All right. I was just saying,
they didn't have the same separation.
Good night, Adele. Good night, Adele.
Good night, Adele. Good night, Adele.
Good night.
I don't know if you stayed while I was walking around in there. I'd like to check out. Got a large plastic sheet they've hung in front of the register cow.
Right, you're breaking up.
You're
saying the vintage that in most of the retail outlets in Australia as well. It's to shield from people, so you don't off on them again.
Yeah, and they also have stickers or tape or whatever all over the floor, marking 6 foot.
Yeah, we have that two little line. I'm saying one person here and one person there, and one person there.
And that's actually I've been wanting to mention. It's occurred two things. How all of this social distancing affect the regular cold and flu. And the other thing is how I'm sure there's a measure of a very measure on pollution from vaping. And
oh, well, that was
he's gone.
He's broke. It's broken up. He's the signal was fading out there. So,
oh yeah.
That's okay.
Apparently,
oh well, I have no idea if Gecko can still see us or not, because that just sort of broke down there. But anyway, that was cool. Maybe that makes me dorky. I thought that was really fun seeing that whole place. That was really cool.
I agree. That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Apparently, Mr. Donald Trump has promised to solve the COVID-19 thing by Easter. I'm thinking, dude, you're pushing it.
Moron.
Yeah, no.
Dude.
He bailed on that about a month ago. He was saying we should be back at Easter. But then I think people screamed at him for a couple of days and went, shut the fuck up. And he went, maybe not Easter. But
I'd be one of them yelling out that. Be like,
apparently CNN has actually stopped taking his press conferences live because there's just so much misinformation in them. That So what they're doing is they're doing it after the fact and correcting everything.
Oh yeah, because he just talks shit. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you can tell he's got verbal diarrhea. It's just all tumbling out, and none of it means anything. Today he was saying this weird thing about, we always thought antibiotics would work, but he's like saying, he started calling it a germ and said it's too smart or it's too sharp. And you don't use antibiotics for a viral infection anyway. You use it for bacterial infection. And he's saying shit that he thinks makes him sound smart, but doesn't mean it.
He's an idiot.
Apparently,
I mean,
high IQ as well, but I don't believe it.
I mean,
all
The
these
wrong-
idiots are going to go out and buy antibiotics that they shouldn't be taking and take handfuls of antibiotics that will have terrible side effects on them. So it's like, what the fuck?
yeah. I mean, apparently, you know how he was talking about the hydrochloroquine?
Yes.
I mean, first of all, someone actually took that and died, and there's actually a shortage of hydrochloroquine now because of what he was saying.
Yeah, because what the evidence is, because it's an anti-malarial drug, what it could potentially do, but there's no solid evidence for this, it could potentially reduce some of the symptoms and help you get through, but it's definitely not a cure, and it definitely doesn't stop you. It's just if you've got really bad lung disorders, it's possible that it might help with some of the symptoms, but it doesn't protect you from it, and it doesn't cure it. There's no way it does either of those, and it might not have any good effect at all. We don't really know yet. Oh, Gecko's going. He's saying in the text when he got cut off, he was saying, "Yes, I saw that as well. Regular cold and flu is much lower than normal because of the social distancing. Not as many people are getting just the usual colds and flus because of the social distancing, which is really interesting."
Only actually wiped it out, according to one of my colleagues at work, who's an ex-nurse. She was actually saying that in Hong Kong they were actually able to wipe out the flu this year.
There's so many things we don't know. It's a really weird and fascinating time to live through because there's so much we don't.
Yeah.
It's so weird, and like here in Australia, it's like each state has each state has these different rules over Easter of what you can and cannot do. So in New South Wales, like you can't leave your house without a valid reason. But you can, as long as you don't go in groups of more than 2 and you adhere to social distancing rules. Yeah, bullshit. So so I could invite someone to my house, and as long as I adhere to social distancing rules, I'd be okay. Well, okay. I think the whole social distancing becomes bullshit once you go into someone's house.
Oh, absolutely. And at least the differences in the States and the US are just wild. Like, yes, we have confusing differences between states, but in the US, it's just like some people are saying, no one leave the house. And some people are going, yeah, fuck it, everyone go to church. Why not? What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Christian, and I still wouldn't go to church.
Yeah, but it's just weird because it's like those states that where they're saying go for your life, do whatever you want. They all tend to vote Republican, so effectively they're all going their own voters.
Yeah, Trump's killing his own supporters, basically. Like saying, hey, no, we're American.
Man, you just made my night with humor.
Yeah.
My life is complete.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just saying, you must have seen the same thing, Trump dribbling on about antibiotic resistance without being able to say, I don't know if any of the journalists are at the thing going like, Mr. President, do you know antibiotics won't work at all on this? It's not what we're talking about. This happens every year. There's a new strain of the flu that we don't have any resistance to, and we try and work on it and get a vaccine for the next season. It's just that often they're not this contagious and they're not going to kill as many people. This is the first one to turn into a full-scale pandemic. And it's like, no, it just bounces off his head. If he doesn't want to hear it, nothing goes in, it just bounces off him.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is like... Yeah. I mean, the thing I find is like, presidents are not necessarily experts in everything, but there's a lot of general knowledge stuff that you think that they should actually know, and Trump is he doesn't even know that.
But when does he not speak waffle?
What? When does he not?
Yeah.
Speak waffle.
Yeah, I mean, Trump is just bizarre in terms of presidents.
Oh yeah, no, he's absolutely real. You're saying about presidents can't really be experts. Not that I'm like a huge Justin Trudeau fan because there's a few of his policies that I really have issues with, but he is at least intelligent. And he was giving,
Yeah.
there was some research facility in Canada that was researching quantum computing, and he was announcing some grant for them. And it's like some journalist to be clever and catch Justin Trudeau out and make him look stupid. Says, Mr. Trudeau, could you give us an explanation of what quantum computing actually is? Now, this is a really esoteric field, and you're president, or he's prime minister, isn't he, of a country?
Yeah, prime minister.
Really be expected to know.
We laughed that one off.
He started when I'm not really an expert on this, but here's what's interesting. And he went on and gave a really accurate description of what quantum computing was. And it was just like, shit. You could tell the journalist.
Well, he is French Canadian as well, so he's got some credence to his methods, I suppose. Sometimes I'm like, I love Justin Trudeau, but other times I'm like, you're pushing it, buddy. You're really pushing it.
He's done some really dodgy things. There's a real serious corruption scandal with his administration. He's doing very ecologically unsound things with okaying the mining of tar sands in Alberta. But on the global scale, he's not that bad in terms
Yeah. Well,
I'm doing this because I agree with you.
That's your agree face.
I prefer the Canadian Liberals to our Liberals.
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
Liberal in that progressive sense, whereas, yes, the Liberal Party in Australia has just turned into reactionary right-wingers. It's interesting because it was Robert Menzies who formed the Liberal Party, and he meant that in the classical sense of the term liberal. And he was going like, we are not a conservative party, we are the party of an individual, and da-da-da. But he was very anti-communist. Menzies was very anti-communist. And the Labor Party at the time did have a lot of communist or communist sympathisers in the ranks, and that was where they broke. But yeah, it's just since the 70s, the Liberal Party has fallen more and more into the social conservative camp.
Well, it depends on what version of history you actually listen to, because I've heard the Labour version of history about the Liberal Party was that it was all deliberately false advertising from the beginning.
Well, you could make that argument, certainly.
Yeah, I noticed that Scott Morrison's basically, when he talks to us, it's like he's disciplining us, like, just stay indoors, stay at home, guys. I know it's Easter, but stay at home. It's like, okay.
Well, I mean, to be honest, we have to stay at home if we're going to beat this thing, which we are.
Exactly, I agree.
We might be one of the first countries to beat this. From the looks of it, I mean, we might be able to get control of it, but it's going to be at least a year before the international borders open up, before the government allows anyone to go overseas, because we'll beat the virus here, and then but they keep it coming back. We have to keep the borders closed.
Yeah, like Angry was saying, on a good note, it'd be 6 to 12 months at least before this whole thing just dies off.
But we appear to be doing very well.
We seem to be doing real well,
we do.
But it's like you release the controls and the infection rate goes up again, so it's very difficult to know when to start retail up again, when to allow public gatherings again, when to allow bars and restaurants again, because as soon as you do that, infection rates, and the big one's going to be the borders. As soon as you allow people to travel in and out, the infection's just going to start up all over again. We're not going to have a vaccine for 12 months, 18 months.
We won't have a vaccine, but we might be able to find some drug at some point that enables the virus to be, that shortens the duration of the illness, improves the outlook of the virus, the outlook of the prognosis for people that get it. Yeah, and I think once that happens, that they may start to, scale back on these social distancing things
Yeah.
there, because if you can get something to protect you, in the meantime, you might as well, because the longer this goes on, the longer it's going to take for the economy to recover.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are going to have to bite the bullet that it's obviously going to mean when everything, we get past it, all the measures that have been taken to help people are going to mean increased taxes and decreased government services. So that's going to be unpleasant for a couple of years as well, the aftermath of it. I'm going to make noise again. Having my Napoleon cocktail now. So just Megaleaf saying Chris Franklin's got a track called Stay the Fuck at Home. Yes, that's the very Australian.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I know. I was listening to a Ringo Starr song, and it's like, better days are coming. I'm like, well, yeah, once this whole COVID thing is ended, then yeah, better days are coming.
I thought I had a glass there. I don't. Okay, fine. Oh no, I'll get a fresh glass. What the fuck? I'm not a barbarian. Thought I put a glass in to chill and I didn't, but I'll survive. All right. There's one little thing. Yes, it's just so weird to live through something like this because we don't know what's going to happen. We'll get to tell our grandkids about this, what this was like.
This is so true.
It's a weird thing to live through. This is the first real threatened the entire planet pandemic since the 1918 flu. So it's been 100 years.
Yeah, but even then, it's like this is actually quite mild compared to what a pandemic could be.
Oh yeah, Definitely.
If we had something like airborne Ebola.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's why the disease specialists have freaked out for the last couple of decades every time something new happened, whether it was Ebola or swine flu or avian flu. And it ended up being contained and people kept going, oh, what were you worried about? And the disease experts are going, we're worried about it not being contained. You fucking idiots. You absolute fucking idiots. Why do you not understand why we're scared? And this is the first one that seems to not be getting contained. Gecko, that's a good point. If an Ebola outbreak happened under Trump, I think it would have been very bad.
That's like wipe out America.
Yeah, he was saying.
To be honest, though, I think that it wouldn't matter who the president is. This sort of outbreak would be really bad in the U.S. no matter who the U.S. president was, just because of the way just because of how big the country is and how the country is actually governed. Yeah,
and how the states act. How the state act has been a big part of it. But I mean,
Obama
if you
would be
have someone like Trump. How for a month Trump kept saying, "Oh no, there's 15 people. It'll soon be 0. Oh, it's a hoax. They're just trying to make me." No rational person would have said the stuff Trump said, and it overall would have been. But yes, with the states and everything, it would have been very difficult to manage. Like for the US to get as good a result as Australia seems to be getting would be very, very, very difficult, no matter who was president. But it's hard to find someone worse than Trump. That's
right. Well,
not even Bill Clinton.
Yeah. Well, no one thought anyone could be worse than Bush. Yeah, and that record was broken. So maybe there is someone that's worse than Trump.
Yeah.
God forbid.
He annoyed me when he compared himself to my distant cousin JFK. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
It's like that Simpsons meme. It's one of my favorite ones where in The Simpsons, Bart's moping about something and he goes, "Oh, this is the worst day of my life." And Homer leans in and goes, the worst day so far, and people just repurpose it to go, oh, Trump is the worst president ever, and Hermelini going, the worst president so far. And it's like, yeah, there probably is someone worse around the corner. It's just like, oh my God.
I wonder what
Yeah.
actually look like. A president.
Oh,
So it looks like Adolf Hitler.
Someone as bigoted and with the authoritarian tendency Trump has, but who's more intelligent and more focused, that would be bad.
Yeah.
Someone who could actually get things done, but in an evil way.
Yeah, get things done in an evil way. Yes.
Yeah.
That would not be good.
I know someone whose father is named Adolf, and he actually met Hitler twice, and both times he was scared for his life when he met him. I was just like, oh Lord. And his name was Adolf too. I was like, oh wow.
There's a podcast I like. I always talk about it on these live streams called Behind the Bastards, where the guy does research on like the worst people in history and tells you stuff you might not know. But like Hitler's love life was really fucking weird. He has episodes on Hitler, and Hitler's youth and love life was just fucking weird. And
I think my love life would be weird if I only had one
things about Hitler, but it's still you find out what he was like, and it's like, dude, Christ, what the fuck? What was that about?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't really looked into it, but I did hear a rumor that he might have been gay, but I don't know.
He was very into conquest with women and with cousins. There was just weird shit. So many of his romantic attachments were with women he was related, much younger than him, and they were related as well. So this guy who does Behind the Bastards, he's very funny. He's a journalist. He's a really good researcher and investigator. And the format of the show is he does all the research and comes up with a script, but then he gets a comedian to come in as the co-host, and the comedian's basically there to riff on the stuff he's saying. Like he'll just be saying, and he has the comedian there to come up with a funny take on the factual history that he's researched. It's a very entertaining.
Oh, no. Well, I don't tend to laugh at deaths, but Hitler was a mass murdering F-head.
Yes, no, that's a good full stop, actually. Yeah, Hitler was a mass murdering fuckhead. And that's all you need to say about him. But yeah, he's done so. Like the podcast's been running for a couple of years, and it airs every week. So he's done lots of stuff. It's fascinating stuff.
Have you ever heard of Eddie Izzard?
Yeah. Eddie Izzard's a British comedian, been around for yonks.
Yeah, he made the joke about Hitler, and I was just like, I agree with you on that one.
Which one was that?
He's a mass murdering head.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the one good thing that he killed Hitler. So I was like, a really interesting character, because I'm not even sure how Eddie Izzard. I'm going to say themselves, because for years Eddie Izzard would cross-dress and wear nail polish and stuff, but he would.
I'm saying no to my son.
Okay. He's been taken away with something by these things.
Yeah, he's taking away his Switch.
Oh no! Okay, that's going to be dramatic. Taking away someone's Switch. No, but Eddie's for years he cross-dressed and would wear nail polish and makeup, and he'd just say, "I'm not gay. I'm not a transvestite. I just find this comfortable. I like doing this." I think more recently, as it is, it's gone through like a whole life of exploration, may have identified as either non-binary or transgender, but because it was very public, his whole persona, I should say their whole persona, because I don't really know where Eddie is on the spectrum and what sort of level of self-realization. But because it was very public and it was like, you're a comedian, is this supposed to be funny? Is there? and just be like, oh,
Yeah,
pretty good comedian too, actually. Eddie is it? There's
he
done
is.
some good stuff over the years.
Yeah, and I also know someone named Annie Clark. She's like, gender is fluid. And I'm like, yeah, easy for you to say because you go by the name Saint Vincent.
Yeah. Oh, it's fluid. Okay. Stella's saying Eddie Izzard does identify as trans but uses he/him pronouns. There you go. Oh, what? I think Gecko's showing us something else.
Yeah,
Ooh.
they are opening the car wash, so I thought if you wanted to watch that, you might enjoy it.
Oh, wow. Daylight.
Oh, yes, I want to go through the car wash. I might probably make terrible sounds.
I hope that the stream doesn't drop out like it did earlier.
Yeah. If it's okay, I'll just mute you because I imagine the car wash is going to make really loud noise.
Yeah, muting would be just fine, I guess.
All right, no, but
It's entertaining.
okay, you'll still hear. This is weird. I'm actually really interested to have the stream go through a car wash now. I really like that.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, remember a while ago I was in the chat, but I was on a plane.
Yes. You were giving us updates from a plane. Yeah, that was really quite good. I like that.
Yeah. Maybe next time I'm on a plane and you have the music on the live stream, we should try doing it live.
Actually, getting a video from a plane would be pretty funny. I would.
Yeah, but expensive.
No, it depends how it works.
It was free.
Okay, I like that.
Wi-Fi, airplane Wi-Fi, yes. Legendary.
Stella says we go through the car wash to get all our dirty bitches clean. That's
Oh man, I wonder what AZ would think of this.
I think I can actually enlarge Gecko's screen so we get a good look at the car wash. I have to work out which control does that. We'll see when he goes through. We can all still talk, but yeah. Okay.
Hey, so cool. This is the view of the car wash.
Yeah. Okay. So Gecko, you're the center of attention now. You're the only video on the stream at the moment, but we're all still talking. There's the beaver on the thing. Welcome. This is the virtual car wash live stream.
Yay, we're all getting it clean.
Yeah, we're all going to clean our dirty souls. Clean our dirty souls in the car wash.
Oh man.
This is not something I really expected to happen tonight, but I'm really glad it's happening. And again,
Here we go, got you covered.
Here we go. It's like the magic of the internet. We're actually in a car wash in Houston, Texas. It's just going in the beaver, as Megaleech says. Oh, I think L3's trying to sing that. Oh, there you go. Now we're all just foamy, and here comes the whippy.
Here comes the whip. Do 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 do.
Now all we can see is foam. It's less visually exciting than I was hoping for at this point.
Actually, it looks very much like a David Byrne music video.
Yeah, it's an esoteric video at the moment. I'm sure jets are going to spray soon, and we'll just be a very waterproof thing. But well, I like that. That's kind of hypnotic with the foam sort of rolling down the screen. I like that. It's quite surreal though. Does that mean some jets of water coming in now? I can't believe I'm doing a running commentary on a car wash.
Don't worry, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, a bit primitive. Rottweiler dude. Oh, there you go. He's giving us a side view. There we go. That's nice, Gecko. The palm trees out. Oh, okay. And there's cleaning
Is the car on a conveyor belt?
Sorry, what was that, Justin?
Is the car on a conveyor belt?
Yeah, it's on a conveyor belt from what I could see. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There's the Coles. Well, Angry, you probably know this. The Coles car wash near Elstonwick. They
Right.
recently upped their car wash, and now that has a conveyor belt.
Yeah, it's a
Those
little
little
while
defenders
since I've
or
been to
something.
one of these. Megalich is saying open the sunroof. It's just not the best.
Don't open the sunroof.
I'm going to turn the sound on. I want to see what it sounds like in there. Yep, no, it just actually that.
My screen went dark. I can't see.
Oh, we can see you. We can see you.
Okay, good. I'm glad because my screen went dark and I can't see what you're seeing
Oh,
anymore.
maybe that was because I made you the whole thing that's on the screen. But we can see what's happening. Going through the coloured arches.
Yeah, I'm going through probably their rinse. Yeah, they're like streak-free rinse. And then here come the vacuums, blowers.
The air drying.
Yeah. And it looks like there's like 3 blowers on top and 2 on each side, and they go back and forth. It's like a whole row of them. The giant.
Very space. Look at that.
And my screen locked. Oh, I think I know why.
Okay.
Magnetic. There we go.
There you go. It looks very space.
And then up here on the bottom, there's like rollers for your tires, I guess.
Okay. Cleaning the tires as well as you go through. Nice. I'm going to go to bed now, but I feel pleased that I went through a car wash this evening,
I
which I
got this
wasn't
sign
really
over here telling me to, when it's ready for me to
actually
put
drive
it in
off.
here and drive.
What's he pointing at?
There's a thing that says when he's allowed to drive.
See the flashing light? It'll turn green in a moment.
Where are we? Okay, I'm putting us all back on. There we go. Well, I somehow that was very.
I'm glad I could give that to everybody.
That was, of all the things that were going to happen tonight, I wasn't really expecting to go through a car wash, but I'm really glad we did.
I always
agree.
try to
I agree.
give my best, especially for my first time being online.
Yeah, that was great, Gecko. Thanks for doing.
Of course, now you can see how much brighter it is since
Oh yeah.
I think it's been an hour.
Oh wow.
Okay. Well, that's perfect timing. I'm gonna go to bed. I think. Oh, I'm gonna do one more thing. Before we all sign off for the evening, I'm going to play the video that I uploaded to my cocktail channel. That actually did live on last night's stream. I edited and uploaded it. If you haven't seen it, you all got to go and subscribe to my cocktail channel. But I'm going to play it before we go, just so you know how fabulous. Because anyone who's on the live stream, I had the audio off while I was doing it, and it took me quite a while to do it. And edited was sort of much slicker. And we just have a little watch party now, doing my whiskey sour taste test comparison. And
G'day, cocktail fans. How are you? I hope you're enjoying yourself. I hope you appreciate the Silk Versace shirt. I'm actually recording this video while I'm doing a Friday night live stream on YouTube as well. But you just get to see the edited version. People on the live stream get to see all the pauses and stumbles that I'm going to edit out. And as it's Friday, it's formal Friday. During normal work times, we often have casual Fridays at work. Now, most of us who still have jobs working from home, unless you're one of the essential services like working in a supermarket or in a hospital, You have to go to work. You can't work from home. I am working from home. So rather than having a casual Friday, because every day is casual, it's formal Friday. So I thought I'd crack out the Silk Versace.
Buffering! Bloody hell.
But for this video, I'm going to do a comparison. One of my favorite drinks, cocktails, is a whiskey sour. It's pretty simple to make. It's just whiskey, the whiskey of your choice, with lemon juice, simple syrup, and egg white as an option. I always use egg white. I like the way that makes it foamy and gives it a nice consistency. Mouthfeel, as people say, and that's not a gross phrase at all. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare a couple of different whiskies, including one that I just bought and I've never used before, but I've seen referenced a lot. And that would be this little beauty, the Rittenhouse Rye. This is a higher proof rye, exactly 50% alcohol, which makes it 100 proof. I don't know if that makes it overproof or not. That's just proof. Most whiskies are 40% alcohol. So what I'm going to do is make one with a bourbon, just a simple Jim Beam bourbon, 40% alcohol, and then a Wild Turkey rye whiskey that I had on hand, that's also 40%. Then I'm going to make one with the Rittenhouse Rye that a lot of people really recommend. I'm going to see which I prefer. Now, of course, those are just some whiskies. There are a huge variation in bourbons. You can make it with Scotch to make it a bit smokier. You can make it with Irish whiskey or Canadian whiskey or Japanese whiskey or any whiskey. But I'm going to try two different ryes and a bourbon and see how that goes. Now, the ingredients are pretty simple as 2 ounces of the whiskey, 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice. Now, with the additional parts apart from whiskey, you can adjust these up or down according to your personal preferences. I'm just following a guide to 2 ounces whiskey to 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, to half an ounce of sugar syrup, to half an ounce of egg white. And look, if you're using fresh eggs, don't fuss too much. Just, the egg white from one egg, whatever you have on hand. I actually cheat and get this egg white stuff from a carton that I think most people use in smoothies or bloody protein smoothies. They're all bodybuilders. I use it for cocktails, but that's me. Now, a little trick with the shake. First, we do a dry shake, and that's with no ice in here. And that's to get a good foamy emulsification from the egg white. Gives it good consistency. You tend to get a better response from the egg white if you shake it once without ice, a dry shake, and then once with ice, a wet shake. And after we finish the wet shake, just going to strain that into a glass, keep the ice out. And the first of our whiskey sours is ready. And I've repeated the process for the 3 whiskies. And now for my first direct comparison. This is a whiskey sour with Jim Beam bourbon. And I am such a fan of this drink. This is, if not my number 1, this is definitely in my top 3 cocktails. Just a simple whiskey sour. And just the balance of the whiskey, the sweetness, the lemon, and the way the egg white mixes in is great. Okay, so that's with bourbon. This is with rye. This is a Wild Turkey rye. And this has that slightly spicy edge. So if you don't like particularly sweet things, you will probably prefer it with a rye whiskey. They're both great. They both have this slight difference. If you're a fan of sweeter drinks, you might not be into rye, but if you don't like things too sweet, oh, that's still just fantastic. Now, this one's new to me. I've never made one at home with Rittenhouse Rye, higher proof rye whiskey, one that's often recommended. Let's see what I think of this. That's really good. Like, what was interesting is as I held it up, there was instantly a different aroma from the Rittenhouse, much more alcohol-y smell, quite honestly. But oh, it's really good. And when I did taste the Rittenhouse straight before I made this, and I actually think the initial taste of the Rittenhouse rye, it tastes better than the Wild Turkey rye. And as it goes down, it's like, oh, there's much more alcohol. Making a whiskey sour with it takes that edge off it. This is really quite good. They're all good. I love a whiskey sour. I've made it with Scotch as well, which gives you a very smoky whiskey sour. It's definitely one of my go-to drinks. But yeah, for me, it's like, if you like things a bit sweeter, make it with bourbon. If you don't like things so sweet, make it with a rye, and it's got that slightly spicy edge. And honestly, I think the Rittenhouse has a cleaner taste than the Wild Turkey. Well, let's double fist it, as the kids say.
There he goes, double fisting again.
Wild Turkey rye.
Back on his double fisting bullshit. Goodness.
And the Wild Turkey has I'm not sure if it's the right word, but to me it's a slightly more herbal edge than the Rittenhouse. I would go the Rittenhouse over the Wild Turkey, actually. But if you want to be my friend any day, a whiskey sour is the drink. If you've never tried one, even if you're not a big whiskey drinker, I really recommend it. If you think whiskey's got too much of an edge, too much of a burn for you, a whiskey sour really takes that edge off. It's a great drink. I always enjoy them. I hope you do too. And I hope you come back and get some more cocktail tips soon. Do the subscribe and ring the bell thing if you haven't done it. Let me know in the comments if you tried a similar taste test. Which one do you like? Which whiskey is your fave in cocktails generally? And I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.
All right, I actually muted everyone.
Bartender, give me something to wake me up and then fuck me up.
Oh, wait, what was that? Sorry, that was something else weird coming in. All right, I'm going to go to bed now. I just wanted to share that with everyone. If you're not subscribed to the Angry Cocktails channel, go and find it and subscribe to it.
I know I am.
Nice. All right.
All right, good night, everyone. Love you as if you're family.
Yes, take care, one and all. L3 doesn't want to have that much protein in the afternoon, which is absolutely fair, quite honestly. I ended up last night with 3 whiskey sours to drink, which I was completely okay with. But that was another thing. I might do another comparison one tomorrow night, do it live. My other favorite cocktails, a sidecar, which you can make with either cognac or brandy. And I might try, I've got like 3 different things I can make. So I can have 3 variations again, decide which one tastes the best. But thanks, Justin and Lee and Gecko, for joining on the live thing. Thanks, Gecko, for showing us that pretty wild petrol station. It was pretty full on. I hope you all look after yourselves. Hope to see you again soon. I'm going to say bye.